morning. Welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It always Thank you. It always helps, and I appreciate it very much. I'm going to ask two of my colleagues, Phil Schiller and Craig Federighi, to take us through line and give us some demos.
Good morning. So, let's take a look at Lion in action. And we're going to start with gestures. Great place to experience gestures is here in Safari. The first thing you'll notice, it's apparently something funny, is that how simple this UI looks because there are no scroll bars. It's a really clean look. We don't need scroll bars anymore because we can simply push the content with our fingers. We can flick and get momentum, get a nice little bounce. The page feels really alive beneath your fingers. You can also expand your fingers and fluidly zoom, just like that. Zoom out, and you get a nice little bounce. Page goes right back into place. If I want to smart zoom, I just double tap with two fingers. It smart zooms in, double tap again, smart zooms out. Now, I want to show you something really cool with gestures, and that's how it can navigate in Safari. I'm going to drill into a story, and then after I've read it, I want to actually get back to the previous page. Well, now I can just take two fingers and swipe the page right off to the side and return back to my previous page. If I want to get back, I can swipe right back. Really fantastic. In fact, I can swipe through my entire Safari browsing history just like that. Really smooth. Next up, I'd like to show you full screen apps. I'm going to launch iPhoto here, and you can see that iPhoto's adopted Lion's standard new full screen control. So I'll just take iPhoto full screen. It's a great way to look at my photo album. If I want to get back to my desktop, take three fingers, and I can just swipe iPhoto away and back to my desktop. But I didn't have to leave iPhoto and take it out of full screen. It's actually right there. Take a peek at it, go back, just like that. We love this so much that we made gestures accessible in exactly the same way. Swipe over to the left, and I have access to my dashboard. You can see Safari supports full screen as well. Let's go take our Safari window full screen. So now we have our dashboard over our desktop over here to the left. We have Safari, and of course, iPhoto's still there in full screen as well. You'll notice how Safari is making great use of all the available space on the screen for my content. But if I want to get at my bookmarks bar or my menu, just go to the top. You see they slide right out like that, really nicely. And when I want to exit full screen, I have a control right there in the upper right, animates right back out. Let's take a look now at Photo Booth. This is an app absolutely born to run in full screen. You can see I'm surrounded by the curtains of the photo booth, and in here I can experience some fantastic new face detection effects. So notice as I move, the birds actually track right, it's the most important feature in Lion. And we can also use this face tracking technology to perform some targeted facial enhancements. For instance, I can finally have those big eyes that I've always hoped for. So I'm going to take a picture of that. So that's pretty cool. So playing around, yeah, that's great stuff. So, you can spend hours at this. So full screen is fantastic, but of course, Mac users love to do a lot of things at once, and that often means that they have a lot of windows. In fact, my desktop often looks a little bit more like this, right? I've got a lot going on. So how do I get across all of those different activities? Well, I just take three fingers, swipe up on the trackpad, and I'm in mission control. From here, I can get at any window I want. So if I want to get at iCal here, I click, it comes forward. Sweep back into mission control. Over to dictionary, same thing. And across the top, you see I have my dashboard, my desktop, my full screen apps. So I want to get to iPhoto, just click, it comes forward from anywhere, 3 fingers up, and I'm back in mission control. I can also quick look my windows. If I just hit spacebar here, get a better look at my calendar, or take this pile of preview windows and spread them apart with a little gesture up. But you know what's really awesome is the way that multiple desktop spaces are now integrated right into mission control. Just take my mouse up to the corner of the screen and a little space pops up. I click, I've just created a new space. And I can populate it by just dragging the windows I want to work with in that space, just like this. And I've set up a new desktop. It's really useful. I can swipe through the spaces, of course, here in Mission Control, go over to my desktop, and if I want to then take even an entire app and all of its windows and create a new space for that, I can click on the preview icon, drag the whole pile to the corner. I've just created another space. And the spaces are just as easy to clean up as they were to create. I just click, they delete, and windows fly right back to my original desktop space. So that is Mission Control. Thank you very much. Well, let's start with Launchpad. You see it's an icon right here on my dock. I click, and I get an instant view of all of the applications on my system, no matter where they're installed. I can page through them really nicely with gestures. And when I want to launch, let's say like Address Book, it's just a single click to bring it up. I can also gesture with a 4-finger pinch to get in as well. So of course, when I want to add things to my Launchpad, the best way to do that is with the Mac App Store. I'm going to launch it right here. You can see on the Mac App Store, we have great featured applications, top paid and free apps, categories. We have also all of your purchased apps. So then if you buy another Mac, or you buy on one Mac and you want to get the app on the other one, you can download them here at no additional charge. And of course, updates. With just a click, you can bring all the apps you have installed on your system from the App Store up to date. Well, now let's try adding Twitter to our Mac. We're going to click here and go to the Twitter product page. And with a click, I can buy. The app actually lifts up out of the App Store and flies right into my Launchpad, downloads, and is ready to use. From here, I can just click and position it wherever I want. I can move it maybe to the first page. And as you see, we have folders, like this productivity folder. Works great. If I want to create my own folder, just pick something up, drop it, and I've created a folder just like that in Launchpad. Next, I'd like to show you just how fantastic the Mac is now with Lion and working with documents. I'm going to open a document that I've been working on here on the history of guitars. When I start editing a document, often I'll position my windows just the way I like them, like this, maybe open up some inspectors, position them the way I want them, and then I'll set down to editing. Now, this guitar, this looks maybe a little bit too metal for my target audience, so I'll delete that. Take this, move it aside, maybe change the font here on this document. So I'm done with my edits for now, and I'm going to quit. And I want you to watch what happens when I quit. Absolutely nothing. I wasn't prompted to save. I didn't need to be because Lion was actually saving for me all along. But it wasn't just saving my document. It was saving exactly the state of how I was working. So now when I go back and launch Pages again, you see it brings back all my inspectors just the way they were, brings back my window positioned where it was, and even has my text selection highlighted just as I left it. Perfect restore. But we're not just storing the latest version of the document. We're keeping a history of the document as it's edited. So if I want to go back, maybe I regret these edits, I want to get back to the previous version, I go right here and browse all versions. And I'm taken right into the star field where I get a view of my current version on the left and the history on the right. If I want this previous version to become current, I click Restore, it picks up, flies on top, and becomes the current version of my document, and I'm restored. But you saw there was actually more history than that. I'll go back into the star field here. And you can see I actually have a full timeline here. On the right, I can go back to the very beginning of this document when it was just a few paragraphs, or step forward as I was adding pages and so forth. But when I restore a document, very often I don't want really the whole old version. I like mostly what my new document has become, but often I want to harvest maybe just an image or perhaps a particular slide and bring it into the current version. With versions, I can, because these two windows are actually live here. So if I have on my current version, maybe a page that could really use an image to punch it up a little bit, and I go back to this past version, I see, oh look, there's a guitar that would be just perfect. Well, I can just select the guitar in the old version, copy it, and then paste it right into the latest version, and like that, I've created just the document I was looking for. And that's version. I absolutely love the new mail in Lion. Let's take a look. So it's got this great full-height message list. It's perfect for laptops, just like this. I've got my message list on the side with snippets. Makes it really easy to find the message I'm looking for. We have this new favorites bar across the top, so I can click through my mailboxes really easily. But if I want to get back to my full list, they're available right here as well. I really find the new search to be just awesome. Because when I search, I'm often searching for a person, let's say like Phil. I start typing PH. See, it prompts me for people in my mail right now that match. So I go Phil Schiller, found messages from Phil, just like that. I can retarget the search to specific inboxes or search all. And of course, as Phil showed you, I can pick whether I'm searching for from, to, or the entire message. Well, suggestions don't just apply to searching for people. They also work for other things as well. Like let's say a subject, I'll search for trip. You see that it's actually prompting me, do you want to search for messages that contain trip, or where trip just appears in the subject line, or even suggest specific subject lines that match? So I can select this, and I've done a subject search on trip. What about dates? I'm going to type March, start typing March. There you see it prompts me, March 2011. And like that, I've searched for all my messages in March. But what's really awesome is the way you can combine these really quickly to pinpoint just the search you're looking for. So let's say I'm looking for a message that Phil sent me. The subject was something about reservation. It was from Phil Schiller, and it was last month. Like that, drills down to exactly the message you're looking for. It's really nice. As awesome as that is, my favorite feature is conversations. It's this beautiful view of all the messages that were sent in the conversation just as they were sent, with all the images and so forth. And you'll notice that all of that extra forwarded reply text that's redundant in the conversation is stripped right out. It's gone. But if I want to show it and I want to see mail the way it kind of looks in lesser mail programs, I can click like this. It folds right out. Yeah, this is awesome. And if I want to reply to a particular message in a conversation, I can hover, we get a reply control, and watch this animation. Bloop. So, message hops right out. So that's great. And finally, when you want to file a whole conversation away, you can just drag it all at once, drag all the messages, put it in your folder, and you're done. That's mail in Lion.